Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Going Dark podcast, episode number 38. And Chop, it's that time again. It's Call of Duty season.
Time.
We are back, or are we?
It is that time. We're always back. Listen, if you are ever on Twitter and you see this man T-Dog's Twitter account, Call of Duty's never gone. Call of Duty's always back.
It is always back, baby.
Dude, it makes me laugh every time. That's become like your brand on Twitter. I think it's hilarious.
Yeah, it's definitely I find it fun.
I'll just see that gif of you, the Call of Duty's back thing. I'll see it in like random replies to like totally unrelated things.
That's the goal. That was the main goal, was to just have that everywhere, and hopefully it does well. But
it sticks.
So I mean, listen, we got a lot to talk about. We were gonna do it yesterday, but I wanted to put my video out. You wanted to put your video out, and I wanted to actually kind of process a little bit more that like that came out as well, like that Call of Duty tweet. So I think it's probably better that we did it a day later. But
let everything digest a little bit.
Let it digest, yeah, because I actually got comments. I watched it live, and I was saying some stuff, and then in my YouTube video later at night, like people were like, "Wait, you changed your mind on certain things?" I'm like, "Yeah, guys, like you can process information and go, all right."
We don't need an instant gut reaction to be like what we think the whole time.
Yeah. So
you can let things digest sometimes. It's pretty cool.
So anyway, the reveal happens. How do you want to take? Where do you want to go with this? You want to talk about you going to a little special spot?
I guess like, you know, we can start by saying that like I watched the reveal like too yesterday. I was watching it downstairs because like it was interesting that Call of Duty was the first thing that got announced, because like I remember in, I don't know, even like E3 back in the day, like we would wait to see when Call of Duty gets revealed. Like sometimes it would be near the end or like maybe somewhere in the middle, but it was like the first thing that got announced and revealed. So it was interesting. But I got to see that reveal trailer like last week.
Yeah.
Well, no, go ahead.
I was gonna say real quick, when you have a stream, like I was streaming it and it was all hyped up and the viewers were like flowing. And then you're kind of wanting it to be like the fourth thing or the fifth thing, you know? So there's some hype, and then they come right out, and
then everybody watches it. I was like, all right, about.
Literally, you can see the dip off of my bar after, and I'm like, all right, well, we'll see you guys.
Yeah. So this first thing that got revealed, I got to see that trailer last week at Treyarch. I was lucky enough to get invited. For the record, like just so we're crystal clear on this, I'm still like shocked that I get invited to these things. Honestly, like my thing is I don't really like care one way or another if I do or don't get invited. I don't really let that sway my opinion about stuff. It's like, but of course, if I do get invited, it's like I would be dumb not to take an opportunity like that to go and, you know, check it out and also give feedback, you know, because like to the extent that some people agree with my Call of Duty opinions, it's like that
kind of our job.
It's kind of a through line for my audience to give direct feedback to Treyarch and like, you know, stuff that I've learned from the community, you know, over the past year of Black Ops 6 and like my own opinions on stuff. You know, this is a good opportunity for me to give them direct feedback on that kind of thing. So yeah. I'm going to take that opportunity if I'm given it, and I'm really lucky to have been given that. So yeah, I got to go to Treyarch last week, played a little bit early. We got to see like the trailer and learn about all parts of the mode and things like that. So there's quite a lot to unpack with this game, I would say. Like
I was gonna say, you want to do it in like sequences, like campaign, multiplayer, zombies, and then we can
so we'll do this. Like I think we should go like pillar by pillar, and I want to hear your impressions on these things, and maybe I can add some additional context and what I think. So first of all, before we get into the campaign, we should talk about the trailer, because I think the trailer, just like as a trailer, is pretty good. Like I think it's fantastic. It's a great trailer. And it kind of dawned on me that this is the first like futuristic Call of Duty we've had in a long time, actually.
Like 10 years?
And you might not say it's that futuristic, but it kind of is. Like BO2 came out in 2012.
Yeah.
I guess BO4. BO2 came out in 2012 and was set in 2025. So like a 13-year, you know, this is like a 10-year into the future. So it's similar. But I think like the trailer itself was solid. Obviously, if you go on YouTube and look at the like to dislike ratio, we have an Infinite Warfare situation
Yeah, history
where
repeats
it's like, you know,
itself.
the battlefield going back to its roots versus COD doing something weird. You get the clashing, and then you know, you get the big like dislike bomb on the trailer. But I was saying to T-Dog before we started the podcast that I think this game will be like an Infinite Warfare situation where it's like Infinite Warfare is like a cult classic now, and people seem to really like that game apparently.
Yeah.
You know, all these years later, and it's like, yeah, everybody's gonna dislike the trailer now, and then in 6 years they're gonna look back at BO7 and be like, you know what, that game wasn't that bad. It's pretty sick. Um,
I totally agree. It's the craziest thing how this has repeated itself because this was literally I've talked to a few of my buddies that, you know, kind of took a break from gaming, and they're doing
Yeah.
Warzone content now, so they're a little bit like, okay, I don't know what's going on here. Like, wow, this is really bad. Call of Duty's in a bad spot. I said, listen, I've been here before, man. I experienced 2016 through 2018 as a Call of Duty fan, and some would probably consider that to be its worst year. Now, they have good arguments. They're like, you know, there's more gaming, there's more games now, there's more free to
Yep.
games now, there's more cross-play games now, which is a very, very good point. But I still think Call of Duty is Call of Duty, and if they would just listen to feedback, and we'll get on this, you know, later, but people still love Call of Duty. They do.
Well,
They
yeah,
really, really do.
the
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say the evidence of that is the fact that people go out of their way to dislike this trailer. It's
Right.
like
Right.
if people were just apathetic to Call of Duty or didn't really care anymore, I think a lot of people would just be like, nah, I'm not even gonna watch the trailer. It's
Yeah.
like people were at least at one point so passionate about Call of Duty that they feel strongly enough to go to the trailer to dislike it to show how much they're like. And I think it's okay. And you can tell me what you think about this. I think a lot of the dislikes are coming from they're not coming from like an inherent dislike of Black Ops 7 as it were, but more so a distaste at the state of Call of Duty right now, which is fair enough, right? It's like
Great
BO6
points.
did some things that, you know, left a bad taste in all of our mouths for sure. You know,
Yeah.
the way that they've handled post-launch content, cosmetics, and so on, like that's not great. And I think that sourness is kind of what is driving the dislikes versus the actual like trailer contents, you know?
Yeah. I feel like I'm kind of with you. The hate is definitely forced, I think, but I'm trying to have a perspective of being in the middle, like seeing where the hate is forced, but also seeing like,
Yep.
okay, if I'm a casual dude that sees a trailer with all this wild stuff going on and boost jumping and, you know, and then they come out and say the carry forward thing, it's like, okay, I mean, I can kind of get the frustration here.
Yeah.
And I can get the frustration of we're now going in a second era of people feeling like, okay, this game is a DLC.
Yes.
And they literally,
Well,
when they came
I
out
have
and
some
said,
clarity on that to give you.
yeah, well, I know, I don't know if you were about to say this, but like I was going to say, they came out and said in the thing that they were developed together.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't think you should say that. I got to be honest with you, especially after MW2 and MW3. Like, I feel like you saying that now immediately in my head goes, okay, this is definitely a DLC. Like, this was just like almost like an afterthought kind of vibe, but I don't know. What do you
Not
think?
an afterthought, but I think the problem is so I just want to say I have videos on this like before they ever even wanted to announce that, like that was their strategy, that they made these two games at the same time. Bro, I called that. Maybe I said it on
Yeah,
this podcast,
you
but I'm
probably
like,
did.
I think I figured it out. I was like, with MW2 and MW3 is like, we all thought that was a weird one-off, right? Where they kind of was scrambled to, oh, okay, let's just make MW3 a full
Yeah.
game, even though it's supposed to be a DLC.
Yeah.
And then I was like, wait, it's happening with BO6 too. And then I'm like, oh, I get it. Like they greenlit two games at once over the 4 years that after Cold War came out. So instead of all of that time making a single project, they said, all right, you know, our efforts, we're going to slice these into two, make two games. It's like double dipping games pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, you know, my problem with that as a strategy is that, well, a couple things. Number one is I don't think you get the same weighted impact when a Black Ops game comes back when they're back to back. You know, Black Ops 6,
100%.
back in the day, like Black Ops 1 or Black Ops 2 came out, and then it'd be like after that was MW3, and
No, it
then
was Ghosts, and then it was
oh,
AW.
I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. My bad. Yeah, you're correct. So BO2, and then it was Ghost. It was weird IW game,
Mhm.
and then Advanced Warfare, weird Sledgehammer game, and then Black Ops 3 comes around. And people are like, oh my God,
We're
Treyarch's back,
back.
and it was really different than Black Ops 2.
Yes.
The problem with this game, in some ways, is that um, besides the aesthetics, I think that a lot of like what they're going for and just the things that they're been developing are going to be very similar to BO6.
Yeah.
Where I think a lot of people kind of like, whether they realize it or not, they like that new epoch of a game, that is very fundamentally different than the one before.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
and so I think that's kind of like that's kind of the big issue for me, is that there's not enough time to cause a real distinction of innovation between the two games. There is innovation, don't get me wrong, and we'll get into that.
Yeah.
But like that was some of the feedback I gave them, even was like that's an Activision thing. That's not a Treyarch thing, right? They got two projects greenlit for back-to-back years, so they kind of have to figure it out. But
I feel
I don't
so
blame
bad
them.
for Treyarch sometimes, and again, this is one of those things where I kind of go back and forth with as well. Is everybody says Treyarch is now washed, and I just kind of have
Yeah.
this opinion of like, dude, I feel like they've gotten just such a hard way of the road here lately. Like they got thrown into Cold War, they got thrown into Vanguard Zombies, they got thrown into what were they doing? Modern Warfare Zombies and MW3. It's
They're
like
always pulling Treyarch off of some project to go work on the next one, and that's gone all the way as far back as like Cold War, when it really like when Treyarch really split.
yeah,
I will say like Treyarch isn't washed, but it is a very different Treyarch than it used to be.
yeah.
Like that's for sure. Like there are some people from the old days there, but not very many. It's a very like new crew of people. And my other thing with Black Ops 7 is that I the trailer actually impressed me as far as like visuals and aesthetics and what they're doing with the game. I'm interested, but I still really can't shake the feeling that this Treyarch needs to like do a new IP. Like it's time for Black Ops to be done after this one.
We talked about that last podcast.
Yeah.
It's time for Modern Warfare to be done too. I mean, I think the only reason Modern Warfare is going to hit is because two straight Black Ops, same situation, two straight Black Ops games, both kind of probably going to be received poorly. Hopefully not with Black Ops 7, but so far, yes. And then here comes Modern Warfare. It kind of reminds me of MW19. There was 2-3 straight bad games in a row. Or this one will be like 4. It'll be MW2, MW3, Black Ops 6, which I know MW3 we can talk about, good multiplayer, blah, 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 blah. But majority of the audience, consider if BO7 is bad, that's going to be 4 in a row of like, wow, this game is struggling.
And I don't even think like Black Ops 6 was bad. I think the way that they handled, themselves.
It was post-launch that was
the
bad.
year was questionable for sure. But it's like I just think that Modern Warfare 4 or whatever is going to slap because like it's been so long since it's come back around and people are expecting big things. And I don't think we really get that with BO7 just because we're still digesting BO6 pretty much. I mean, they had already basically announced BO7 before BO6 was even out the door. So that's kind of it's a different strategy that Activision's doing that I'm not really a big fan of. It's I don't know. It's just an approach that I wouldn't personally decide to take, but that's just me. But anyways, we can talk a little bit about the campaign if you want to, because we learned quite a bit about this. Like they were telling us that this is a through line. This is a continuation of the BO2 story, but that is interweaving BO6 into it as well. So I think what they're getting at is that like.
So I had to pay attention in BO6.
Well, yeah, that's the thing, right? Is I think they're continuing obviously with like Mason and Menendez. But I'm sure there will be, dude, I'm sure there's going to be like an Adler appearance and or mention. Jane Harrow, something's going to go on with that. I know, or like Troy Marshall, they're going to weave the new BO6 characters into this. And especially with like their Avalon stuff, like I know that's a whole thing. But what I am happy about is that number one, it is a co-op campaign, which is always interesting at
Yeah.
least it
Yeah.
is interesting. And they are like linear missions this time. The whole campaign is, really curated levels that are hopefully just going to be a lot of fun. Like, I know one thing that I am like, it kind of makes me raise my eyebrow a little bit is their whole thing's like Black Ops 7 is going to be like really crazy and we're going to go all these crazy twisted places.
Yeah.
And sure, that's fine, but that was never really like what Black Ops was about. It was like a byproduct of that, right? The whole psychological element was kind of like, it was more low key, and like BO2 didn't really have any of that stuff. When you think about it, there wasn't any of this crazy, like that was more BO3 when they went and literally tried something insane.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see where, like, what they do with that directionally, because I'm not sure. But the structure should be interesting. Linear campaign, bunch of missions, cool locations, I'm sure. Solid visuals, cool
Yeah.
gunplay and whatnot. But the big thing is Endgame. Like, I don't know what your initial thoughts are on Endgame, if you have
Well,
any.
I want to go back to the linear part. That really
Yeah.
excited me because you know me with this open world stuff.
You hated the open
I
combat
hated it
levels.
so much. Even the one that everybody loved with the zombies was like that was cool for like 15 minutes, and then it became like a 60-minute mission, and I'm like, what
Sure.
are we doing here? So I think the linear, like that's what's got me real. I love playing the campaign still. I'm still excited to go and like open up with that. Also, side note that I forgot to mention in my video, I really hope that they do early access. I doubt they will. They probably would have announced it. Like that campaign early access that 1 year. Why did we ever get rid of that? That is such a like easy way to get people to like pre-order and also play the game. And I think we talked about maybe they probably lost people from that. I can't remember, but
Yeah, maybe.
I think that was so fun. And then seeing it being linear, I'm good. And I was actually just reading a tweet right in front of me. It said the campaign features a satisfying ending.
Yes.
So
So that's
that's
actually one of the
good.
things I asked them at Treyarch. I was like, hey, this end game thing is attached to the campaign, but I'm like, can you just play the linear missions and get a satisfying story? And they're like, yeah, this was made to tell a story that is encapsulated in this linear
Yeah.
situation, but Endgame provides like additional context and details to like other stuff. So here's the thing is I don't know if it's going to be like really clever in the way where the stuff in Endgame like completely retextualizes the what you learned in the linear missions, or if it's just like, oh, it's just Avalon lore. I don't know. We'll see. But that's to be seen for sure. But
Okay.
like at least you can play the linear campaign
So
and be like, okay, I got a story.
okay, so that's what I was going to ask you. And you might have just said this, but like that, there is an ending. This is what I got from them. There is an ending, and then that final thing is just like I kind of compared it to the zombies thing back in World at War. It's like, hey, here's a bonus mode. Go play
Kind
it
of,
if you want, kind of thing.
Yeah, sort of. It's more like, yeah. I would say it's more like, well, structurally, it's more like Modern Warfare zombies, where
Okay.
you will like have a loadout of abilities and powers that you acquire throughout the campaign. And then you, from my understanding, you like craft your loadout to go and take on these like missions that have different difficulties in this Avalon world. And if you complete them and survive, you get to keep what you got from that. It's not really like extraction based where you're like getting items out. It's like you complete a mission and you get like XP, but if
Okay.
you die, you lose it all.
Okay.
So your goal is to like finish it and get the hell out, I think. But I know that like you lose it all if you die.
Okay.
So it's kind of like a MWZ build crafting thing where you go and do like different difficulties of missions. It can be played with 1 to 32 players, which is insane. It's that's very MWZ as well.
And there's no way, like, there's just no way that they use Avalon just for that. Like, that is what I'm saying. I don't know if you guys press them at all with that.
In what way?
Like, just there's no way they made that big of a map for it to be the final campaign thing. Like,
It
that
could be.
just it just seems like that's a waste of resource to do that. Like, just have the campaign end and then go take your Avalon map and make it, the Warzone map like it was probably supposed to be, or Blackout 2, whichever one you want to do. I'll take either one.
Maybe. I don't know the history of like Avalon's development, but I mean, It seems like it is literally just this end game thing.
Yeah.
That is actually something that I'm interested in because whether it works out or not, like whether this Avalon thing is good or not, I don't really care. Well, I mean, I do care, but
Yeah.
I I will at least give them credit because it is boundary pushing. And that's the kind of stuff that in my BO6 review, I'm like, the thing that I hated about that campaign was that they don't get Black Ops, which is like Black Ops is not Mason and Woods. It's not they're not Black Ops. The
Right.
spirit of Black Ops is the boundary pushing of storytelling.
Uh-huh.
And like and it doesn't always work. Like BO3, one of the most interesting BO3 mentioned, one of the most interesting campaigns. It doesn't really work, but it's very boundary pushing. It's very different. And that's great. Like I love that kind of experimentation. This one, it's boundary pushing. It's very different for Call of Duty. We'll see if it works out or not, but I'm going to at least give them their flowers insofar as that is a risk. And you know what? That feels Black Ops to me. I'm fine with that.
Well, I mean, I think that little hand thing in the trailer, I know people were kind of making fun of it. I'm like, that actually looks kind of cool.
That looks like an end game thing. Like, so I don't think that's part of the linear missions. And I don't know this for sure, but that I believe that's like an end game moment. You know, you won't get to that until you're like through with the campaign, I think.
Yeah. Okay. I was excited.
I
thought that was going to be some sort of goofy, some sort of weird thing.
Yeah, and I can see how that might like be portrayed as goofy, and maybe it is, but if it's like in the context of the end game, raid stuff or whatever, I don't know. I think it makes more sense that way.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited for campaign. I think
also full cross progression. What do you think of that? Because
I mean,
the experience you make in campaign and or end game is like totally player profile.
I'm excited to see how they're doing camos in campaign.
Yeah, there's a lot of camos apparently. That's what they were telling us.
So I think that's going to be fun. I mean, I'm just thinking of this from a content perspective because last year I felt like I ran out of content 1 month in. It's like, okay, number one, nobody cares about the game 2 months in because everybody's got the max camo and there's no camos getting added and there's no content really getting added. They add a bunch of guns, but it's the MW19 guns. So you've already kind of used them. And then multiplayer wise, like we got 3 maps. It's like, I'm hoping that this will allow me to kind of be like, getting my first gold camo in Black Ops 7 campaign. Like you could use that for multiple different videos,
I think the end game stuff has the potential to kind of like garner its own YouTube audience. Maybe. Yeah. Like, people that want to like build craft for end game content. Like MWZ was not for everybody, but it had its like own little community. And I think like campaign in this game might have a similar thing. So yeah, that is TBD. The thing that I'm not like totally sold on, I don't think, maybe you disagree with this, but I don't think I totally love the idea of full cross progression. And I'll tell you why.
Okay.
I think the game that got it best was BO3 because like, yeah, you could rank up in each respective mode, but they didn't like cross pollinate. And so the problem with that or how it is now is again, like as somebody who mostly plays zombies, it's kind of misleading when I get into a multiplayer lobby and I'm like prestige master level 300, like when I played MP for a little bit, right? It's like, I don't think I really deserve to look like that in a lobby when I've only played a little bit of MP here and there, right?
Yeah.
So I think BO3 had it best where like you can rank up in each respective pillar, but they're separate.
Is that,
anyways, not
do you know if that's any sort of detail? Like, do you know if they're kind of doing that or is it just like, it's the same thing? So if you're level 55,
it's
you're
full
just level
cross progression. What you rank up in campaign is your level in multiplayer, is your level in zombies, is your level in Warzone, maybe. I don't know. But it's all the same.
I mean, the only thing that I could see that helping is the 9 to 5 dad, where he's like,
sure,
he played the campaign, he played a little zombies, now he wants to go into Warzone, and it's like, I don't got any of the guns in Warzone, I'm a level 1.
Or it's like multiplayer. I can see, I don't know. I can see the argument of, oh, but as a zombies player, you go and play multiplayer and you don't have anything unlocked. I'm like, then play the game and unlock it, dude.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean? Like, start from scratch like we all
They
did.
love that cross thing though. You know, we talked about this last year where it's like they wanted to get zombies people to play
They
Warzone
love unifying the
Yeah, it's like,
experience. When I
bro.
don't think that should be the goal
Yeah, you don't
exactly.
play
Like,
Warzone.
no,
Like,
I don't. I'm not interested in Warzone. I will play the campaign insofar as it's replayable. I will play multiplayer when I feel like it, but I'm mostly here for zombies. Uh, but like, I don't think this like trying to get every player to play every mode thing is like what we're here for.
yeah.
I think when it feels like they're getting satisfied in their own pillar, like when they have the game mode they like being constantly catered to, that feels good. But I don't need something in Warzone to incentivize me as a zombies guy to go play Warzone.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not interesting to me. I'm good.
Well,
But I don't know.
they started adding like I don't know if you played Warzone at all, but um they had some sort of like when you open certain chests, they have like the red kind of thing. I don't know if you saw this. There's like the red, and I think it is what is going on in the campaign because
Oh, okay.
you open this crate and then it like makes you all disoriented kind of thing
Oh, I
for
did
like
see
a
that.
couple seconds. And I think like I don't know if you can hear Menendez or not. I can't remember, but they're definitely like teasing that red stuff being like some sort of
Yeah.
wacky juice,
Like that
you
that
know?
that alchemy dust.
Yeah, yeah. I always think of like
Um,
it just reminds me of the Scarecrow from Batman Begins. Like that's what I
sure.
always think back to that.
I also again I'm gonna predict that's what's going on in this game. Like, I don't think
Yeah,
Menendez is literally back in the flesh. Maybe he is. That would be kind of silly because like BO3 literally says that he's like dead.
yeah.
Um, I don't know. We'll see what they do with that. But
You have to kill people a bit, like Harper being back. Well, how'd that happen?
yeah. Well, I guess the canon ending in BO2 is Harper didn't die. I
Right.
suppose. I
He
don't know.
didn't. So what was it? The other was it a girl or something that died then at that
Karma.
point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Karma. And there's like a skin for her in the pre-order thing. So I don't know, man. We'll see what they do with storytelling.
Yeah.
But I'm actually curious to talk about multiplayer, and I'm
Oh
curious to
yeah.
your impressions on it. So what did you think of the MP from the reveal?
I I thought it looked good. And I immediately got a COD chill, which is kind of crazy. Like, you know, to me, I said it immediately after I watched like a couple of I didn't watch, not after watched the trailer, it was after I watched the 17-minute breakdown. I don't know if you watched that at all.
No, I didn't get to see
Okay,
that one.
that has a little bit more multiplayer footage. That has a little bit more, just actual things that you can look at. And when I
Sure.
saw a couple of the multiplayer clips, I'm like, that looks like Black Ops 3 and 2 like combined.
Yeah, yeah. I saw a lot of people saying that it's like a baby of between Infinite Warfare and BO3.
Yeah. So I just
Like,
how do
I
you
love the
not
aesthetics. I'll
that's
say
like
that.
probably
But
my top 2 multiplayers of all time. So like
mhm.
what are we missing here,
Yeah, I suppose my question is like, what it sounds kind of silly, but I'm like, what do people want out of multiplayer, right? Because the big thing with, like, again, the big clash with Battlefield this year is like Battlefield's back to its roots. And look, and we can talk about Battlefield more later if you want to, but I played a lot of the Battlefield 6 beta. I love it. It feels
Yeah.
great. It's
Yeah.
very Battlefield 3 to me. I kind of like grew up on Battlefield Bad Company 2, 3, and 4.
Okay.
And to me, 6 felt like I would say like gunplay and stuff felt most like Battlefield 4, but like gameplay pace and visuals and aesthetics and even like destruction and stuff felt very Battlefield 3 to me. So
Okay.
that as that felt good. And then like I get that. They kind of like were able to revitalize what made a lot of people fall in love with the franchise to begin with. Battlefield 6 is fantastic,
Yeah.
So I can appreciate that Battlefield is doing the Battlefield thing. By that same token, I would also say that Call of Duty is doing the Call of Duty thing.
Uh-huh.
Like, I don't see why it has to be one or the other. They're different. I don't think Battlefield is ever a replacement for COD and vice versa. But I think Call of Duty is like knows what it is multiplayer wise and continuing to do its thing. The big thing that I think will help keep the multiplayer intact that I'm sure you'll agree with
Uh-huh.
is they gotta lock in on these like cosmetic things, bro.
Oh
Because
yeah.
a big I said this in my Battlefield review. I'm like, one of the big things that I really enjoyed about this beta was that is the little details that keep immersion. And I'm like, when all of those little details are intact, you can be really immersed in the game. It only takes a few to break your immersion.
Uh-huh.
I was playing BO6 multiplayer when I got home from the Treyarch event,
Uh-huh.
and I was playing grind. I'm like, I'm feeling this, and all of a sudden I see like a Beavis and Butthead skin come around the corner. I'm like, immersion broken immediately.
Yep.
So they like, my question is, what is the point of making a certain aesthetic for a game and trying to strike a particular tone if you're just gonna go the other direction tonally with
Yeah.
skins? Like, what's the point of establishing
It
a tone
doesn't
if you're
make
just gonna
it
break
makes
it?
no sense. That's the
Now,
problem. And I think
and we call. Mhm,
they're
go
the
ahead.
only people that don't understand this, I think. Like,
We called them out on it, and they said that they're actively monitoring this
sure.
discussion about
Sure.
cosmetics, which, like, maybe I think it's funny. It's
Well-
like, maybe one solution to this is having a setting that you can apply
Oh yeah.
that disables all player cosmetics.
Yeah, there was that
Which-
troll post a couple months ago that was like, I retweeted it. I'm like, would you like a skin filter? And it has like 10,000 likes. And I'm like, who?
Yeah.
I'm like, again, they're monitoring feedback. Who are they monitoring feedback from? Activision's wallet? Like that's
Who knows, bro?
because
I
anybody
the
I talk
feedback
to
is there.
yeah, the feedback is sitting right in front of you. That's what I don't understand. Like, it would be different as like, hey guys, we see your feedback.
Yep.
Again, saying you're monitoring it to me is like, you're not actually monitoring it if you're paying any attention to the internet. You're getting memed because Beavis and Butthead is in your game. Like, every other game is memeing you. And maybe
Yeah.
they just don't care because of the billions of dollars that they make, which is sad, but it's so true.
Sure.
And
It's an easy talking point too. Like, the Battlefield guys were like, we're not gonna have Nicki Minaj
Right.
as a skin in our game,
Right.
and that's like a selling point because it is speaking to the heart of a lot of disgruntled COD players who don't like that stuff.
I said this in my review last night. I said one of their talking points should have been no carry forward. Like, I think that could have been something that was in their keynote that people would have been like, holy crap, they're actually listening. But instead, they did the opposite approach and they said, hey guys, carry forward's coming back, season 1. And everybody's
we
like,
can talk about that in a second. I want to talk about carry forward here in a minute, but I want to make another point on the cosmetic discussion.
yeah,
I find it really funny, and I think I'm mostly in favor of a setting that allows you to like disable all player cosmetics and
Yeah.
keep the tone of the game that was made, right? I think I'm pretty much in favor of that. I think it's really funny though to think about somebody spending like $35 on a skin and playing Call of Duty, which is a first-person game where you can't even really see your own player model very much. And so the point is to show it off in game, but everybody has it disabled. So you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, nobody actually ends up seeing it, and you like spend $35 to see it maybe for the 0.1 second when you get shot.
yeah.
When it cuts into third person when you die. I'm like, I think that's really funny, but
I mean, I
it's just the little details that keep the game immersive.
Yep.
And like, that's what we were trying to tell them is, y'all have a vibe here, right? You have an aesthetic, you
Yeah.
have a tone,
And
feels
it
good,
looks good.
and you should keep it, right? Like, that's great. So I don't know, they got to figure that out because
I think it looks good. I really do. I think
immersion can be shattered so fast. Like,
yeah, it's
I can't
over.
even think
Season
about-
1, it's over. Like, again, and that's why I'm telling people.
This is the carry forward thing, right?
I literally
the operators.
season 1 is carry forward. I said, okay, so you got till season 1 to like it, like, and then it'll probably get ruined. They have collabs probably planned for this game. So I don't know.
And I'm not sure, but my fear is that it's already too late. Like, the paperwork with all these big companies that are way over our heads, right? Like, these things are way above us that have already been signed and, that are legally binding now. I wonder if they've already been signed and sealed. I'm not sure. But like, we got until season 1 to have the tone that the game was meant to have. And I don't know how weird or wacky they're going to get with it, but like, again, a little bit is fine, right? I mean, you think about Black Ops 2, it has some kind of crazy camos, but I don't know. I didn't particularly see those as immersion breaking because it's also, I think the big thing is like the actual like soldiers. Like
Yeah.
a crazy gun camo I can live with. But like Beavis and Butthead as an enemy that's running around that I'm shooting at is like it feels kind of ridiculous.
I-
Um
that and that's what I said about, like I said, we're not new to this. Like Black Ops 3 had some crazy skins,
yeah,
but
it
it
did.
felt like it was in the realm of the situation and game, and like the specialists, like it was like they're different. Again, but there were people dabbing in Black Ops 3. Okay, so we
Yeah.
can't
It was
forget
kind of
that.
silly. Yeah, right. You're right.
So it's not like this is some sort of new thing that we've told. I think it's this perfect storm on both ends. And I said this in one of my videos. Battlefield to me feels like they've done everything that 2042 did wrong and they fixed it.
Yep.
Everything. Like the only complaint I really see about Battlefield is maybe how some of the game modes play compared to older
People
versions of
don't like
them,
the maps because they're
and the
small and
maps
they're like
and the maps.
infantry grinders, which like I don't know.
Well,
Maybe
also
the
there's bigger maps at launch. They already came out and said that.
right. Right,
So
right,
there's
right,
bigger
right.
maps at launch. And you know what this beta was doing? I'm going to say it till I'm blue in the face. They wanted Call of Duty people to play this beta and they wanted them to enjoy it. So they
Yeah.
gave them the smaller maps, they gave them the smaller modes. Again, I said it 50 times. When you play the smaller modes like Domination and King of the Hill, there's no longer that bleed out animation. The eagle eye, it goes to then eagle eye, and then you gotta spawn in on somebody. You just have to spam X, and then you're back into the fight again, just like Call of Duty and Team Deathmatch. And I think that was very
That
strategic
was
because
intentional. Yeah.
I played that. Me and my buddy played the Battlefield beta probably 20 hours in 2 weekends. I didn't play I don't think I played Black Ops 6 20 hours, to be honest with you. So I just felt like they were trying to appease to. They knew they were going to get the Battlefield people because, let's be honest, some of those maps with like the jets, like they're cool. I don't personally enjoy that. I like the smaller condensed stuff. That's why I play Call of Duty. But they brought in that smaller mode for people like me to try, and I think they nailed it. They nailed it. And so you have this huge storm of perfect storm for them, and then you got a perfect storm the other way of the complete opposite effect. Not listening, carry forward, and we don't even have to. It's always a discussion, but skill-based matchmaking, how's
Sure.
that going to be? We just saw Battlefield have this loose skill-based. It was very fun. You could go 16-7 with whatever gun you wanted to because, there's people doing different things like a medic. Like the guy don't even have a gun. He's walking around with defibrillators, and you're like, oh, that's an easy kill.
Like it's not really the point of Battlefield. Like the
Right.
dopamine you get from Battlefield is like making like crazy plays with the sandbox that you're given. It's not like because there's no kill streaks in Battlefield. You're not like trying to go on a big streak and like get a big chopper gun or something, right? The dopamine hit from that game is like you put a C4 on like the bottom of a jet or something, and as it flies over this enemy, you blow up the C4, blow up the whole thing. It's like just the fun stuff that can happen in Battlefield. Like that's the fun part.
Yep.
And but
So,
I do agree that they
perfect
maybe
storm the other way.
strategically, yeah, they maybe strategically knew what they were doing to get Call of Duty fans to be like maybe look at Battlefield in a different light, especially post 2042, which went weirdly in a different direction. That was like I'll say this, not to get off on this tangent, but 2042 near the end of its life cycle, I actually played a lot of.
Yeah.
Near when they actually went back to like traditional like classes, essentially that was when the game actually got a bit more fun. But anyways, weird game. But now they're like, I think they're trying to recapture Battlefield fans and also at the same time capture disgruntled COD fans, which that's the one thing that not just Battlefield does. Is so many, basically every FPS is attempting to do this, where it's like their audience, they want to capture disgruntled COD players. And I know that from just observationally, but even from what I've been told from like other devs from other games and stuff like that, they're like our target audience is to capture disgruntled Call of Duty fans.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, if COD just pleased its audience, then these games would be screwed.
Yeah.
So it's like Yeah, it's tough, but I mean, multiplayer I think will be received well insofar as they can keep the identity intact.
Yeah, that's the problem.
I mean, because there's a lot of content, bro. I mean, you saw there's like
The
there
content
are
looks.
there are
That's what I'm
16
excited
maps,
for.
16 6v6 maps, 3 of which are remakes, which is like I'm all right with
That's a
that
pretty good
because
ratio.
I was very critical of Modern Warfare 3 when I'm like, dude, we've played all these maps in 2009 already. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's it to launch with. Like, we've already played these, but 13 brand new maps, 3 remakes, solid, right? Very, very good.
I still
So
think
multiplayer would be cool.
I still think my theory of well, you kind of mentioned it, but like I still think my theory of they wanted to make this game instead of Black Ops 6, it's to me it's so obvious. And especially the
Yeah.
way they're going to support this with content. Like that's why I think Black Ops 6 was so dry. They're like, we're not going to pull out these weekly challenges and camos and all this when, we got this cooking in the background.
hmm I think it's like, I do agree with that to some extent. Like they also wanted to make BO7, but I don't think it's as dramatic as like, BO6 was just the filler game, but this is the main game. I think they were kind of like more or less even.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I do think a lot of what they wanted to do with BO6 was like pulled away so that they could finish and or like focus on BO7,
Yeah.
which, I think Zombies fans felt that a lot, which we can talk about Zombies if you want to.
Yeah.
They didn't really give us a ton to talk about. Like, there isn't a whole lot of like even what we learned at Treyarch was very minimal compared to what we learned about BO6 Zombies wise. We did learn that the structure of the on disc map is very interesting.
Okay.
Like, I don't know. So it's again, it has a name, but the name is a work in progress, so we're not even allowed to like say what that was because it's not going to be what it is. Like I don't know what the name of the map is going to be, but we have a big map that is very transit like, where there are these connecting areas that kind of go between these bigger POIs that are, real areas like farm or something like that. But we don't know what the other POIs are. They wouldn't tell us or show us.
Yeah.
I have no clue. But there's like 8 of them, I think. There's quite a lot where it's like a transit, and BO2 had like 3 or 4 like main areas. But this has, I believe, 8. And it has a player controlled wonder vehicle that you can drive around to these different areas, and you can also upgrade it in different ways. So that
Can I
that
give an
to me
unpopular opinion on that?
Go ahead.
I feel like part of the reason why I like transit was the part that you could miss the bus.
Yep. I actually told them that. I said, like I think the player controlled vehicle is cool, but I this is what added to Transit's chaotic energy is that there was this like mechanic in this not a character, but it was a system that is obviously vital to the map, but
Yeah.
it's working independently of you. So it's like you need to build your game plan around this thing and like figure it out.
Yeah.
Like you don't really control the bus. Like, but you can do some clever things. You can throw an EMP at the bus to stop it. You can knife Ted or whatever. You can manipulate the bus a little bit, but for the most part, it's kind of working on its own.
Yeah.
Where this one is, I believe, just a player controlled vehicle and you do whatever you want with it. So there's potential there, but it will be a little different than like having a transit bus that just goes on its own. So we'll see about that. But I mean, it sounds like a big map, and it is round based. That is the other thing, is like it's not an outbreak situation. It's not MWZ where it's on a timer. It is purely round based. And if the big giant map isn't your thing, they're also doing survival maps.
Okay. Kind of like BO2?
Yeah. I mean, that's what they said. They said survival maps for the first time since BO2, which I assume means they're going to be taking the POIs
Sections or whatever.
Of the big map, right? Yeah, and kind of making them their own little like thing. I imagine probably like no Easter eggs in them, just very straightforward, jump in and kill zombies kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, but I'm not sure if I don't think that they're going to keep that structure for the whole year. I don't think every single DLC map is going to be like a big transit POI. I have no clue what they're doing for the rest of the. That was one of the things I asked them was like if they're adding POIs like in future seasons to the map. But from what I understand, like this thing is just the launch map, and then
Okay.
they're doing other crazy things like through the rest of the DLC, which is exciting. I'm interested in them like doing different formats and things like that. It's really cool. But the fact that it's still like fundamentally round based, I think will make a lot of people satisfied in that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean that's curious enough to me. What my I would say like what I'm concerned with mostly is that um I have a hard time thinking that there are going to be giant sweeping like new systems to learn
Yeah.
for zombies. And that's kind of a it's kind of a shame just because like the I y'all know Mr. Waffles. Milo was talking last year, or actually even like 2 years ago. He brought up something that him and I talked about a lot called the hungry player theory, which is basically like you have imagine this for like multiplayer, right? You have a whole sandbox of guns, attachments, and perks, equipment, etc. And
Okay.
even like the movement. You learn that throughout the year. Like you learn how to interact with that stuff. And let's say the next game comes out and it's very similar, guns wise, perks wise, movement. You already have learned a lot of what you need to build into your skill set as a player so that like chewing through the content of this next game is way easier and it goes way faster.
Okay.
So I'm concerned that because BO7 Zombies, if it's very similar from a systems perspective to BO6, that it will that we will like chew through this content really fast.
Yeah.
Especially if there's carry forward. Like, you know what I mean? That's kind of the cherry on top. If there's carry forward and the systems are largely the same, it might be cooked from the perspective of, oh, well, there's nothing really new to learn other than the maps.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Well, you know, the one thing that I always say about zombies, and I'm going to repeat it again, is the fact that we are not doing the OG style of zombies. It boggles my mind. Pistol only, bring back the tension of trying to get the box and enough points to do this and that.
Yep.
And
Well,
what was my other point I usually made? I have another point with zombies, but you know, the fact that they're
while you
doing
think of that,
loadouts
to your
is
point
wild.
here is yeah, to your point on that, that's a big thing that I even gave him feedback on is, you know, I understand since Cold War, zombies has taken a very different like core approach to the mode
Yeah.
where you know before you know you talk about classic zombies, that's very much about survival, avoiding getting hit by zombies, trying to like scramble, you know, scrounge for all the ammo you can find and weapons and you know getting to the box and things like
Yeah.
that. It's very survival based. And sure, technically new zombies is survival based, but also not really. It's more like a build crafting like FPS RPG instead, where you like build a character with different stats and you know it's very RPG-esque. And so I was like, I think there might be something to be said for putting the emphasis back on survival instead.
Yes.
Um
Well, that and
and
I
you can
told you
have
this.
these yeah.
I told you this offline. The one, not the starter room challenge. That to me,
And BO6 is fantastic.
I didn't get to play
It's
because they
great.
removed the mode, which I told you off before. And I wanted to play it in private match. Number one, I didn't even realize that there was no private match in zombies, which is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unless I missed it. And
I don't think it is.
I was gonna do private match, do one, or I keep saying one chest challenge, but starter room challenge, and I was gonna do all the maps. And I was like, this is gonna be so fun. It'll be a nice video for people that don't get to see me do zombies. And then the mode's gone, and I'm like, okay.
Yep.
And it changes because I watch people play that mode, and I'm like, okay, it kind of gives you the box, and it does all this, and it like makes it a little bit harder. Like when you do it normally, it's just kind of boring because you can't unlock anything, and the zombies are slower, and it's just like, man, like.
And I told them this, bro. I was like, the first room challenge y'all did was so good that I can see that there is like the heart there. You can make a compelling survival experience. Like I've been playing a lot of classic zombies actually, and I'm like, damn, just like the mere micromanaging of surviving and like avoiding getting hit is a bit. Like, I told him this. I was like, modern zombies is very much about like damage mitigation, right? It's like how strong can you make your armor to reduce the damage you take from zombies? I'm like, that's great and all sometimes, but old zombies was about avoiding taking damage, very much about avoiding getting hit at all
Yeah,
because
yeah,
it was like, and I was like, a lot of the satisfying gameplay moment to moment was like the decision making of how to avoid getting hit. Like that's where the gameplay loop was kind of fun. You don't really get rewarded for not getting hit that much in modern zombies.
yeah,
Like damage mitigation is the big thing, which is why it's very much an RPG now. But like I don't know. I just think that they could make a very compelling survival experience, and I think that's what people mean when they say they want classic zombies back. Is they want the the slow burn of like trying to actually
yeah.
trying to survive and get to these more powerful things. Where it's like
Yep.
BO6 and probably by extension BO7 is more about like getting powerful as quickly as you can.
Yeah. I I just miss the classic zombies I have for years, and I'm actually disappointed that I missed the round based. I don't know what I was doing because I would have played that. Maybe I just was so out of it on the next season. But I'm like, man, I wish I would have played that season. What was that, the
Yeah.
Fringe season?
The first room came out.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I played it near the end of when it was out too, and it was
Okay.
amazing.
Okay.
Dude, I played every map and I was like, this is amazing. Like, I should have been permanent. But I don't know. Maybe they'll figure that out for BO7. I will say this: the story for zombies right now is a complete mess.
Okay.
Like that's the one thing that they gotta
You
like
kind of you
really
kind of told
reel
me
it
that
in.
last time.
It's a mess, bro. They So and I
They're not
maybe I
cooking.
can't say this. I can't say this for sure, but I just recall back in the day, like old Treyarch like had a really tight grip on what was happening in the story and how it relates to the gameplay. Where I feel like in modern zombies there is a large disconnect between who's making the gameplay decisions and who's writing the story. I don't even really know if the gameplay guys know what's going on with the story themselves. Um, and that causes a lot of issues. Like the story's a nightmare. Not that it can't go cool places or do cool things in this future game, but the the ending and the implications of the ending for BO6 were like, what the hell, dude? Like,
Yeah.
it's
Well,
it's a mess,
they brought the old people in, and the new people are like
and
combined
not in a
forces,
good
and
way.
it's like, what the heck is
The
going
zombie
on?
storyline has always been messy, but in an interesting way. This is messy in the way that like contradicts everything else before it, makes things irrelevant, makes characters irrelevant, and doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Like, even though the zombie storyline of old was messy, it was still like it was this very like interconnected like web
You
where
know me,
not
man.
everything is
That's when
straightforward.
they lost me. I'm like, where are we at?
Sure. I think that's where it kind of got interesting to me. It's like, and everybody likes something a little different, but even if you like a more straightforward story, I don't think the BO6 zombie story is that either. It just is it's just pointless. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
They got to do some serious legwork to get the story back on track. But
Sounds like at the Call
yeah.
of Duty in general. They need a lot of work to get the thing back on the track.
Well, in some ways, like I will say this, like the core gameplay of BO6, I've said this from day one, and I still feel this way. The core gameplay of BO6 Zombies, for the most part, is pretty good. It's really good, actually.
Yeah.
Some of the best gameplay we've gotten. The Easter eggs and the boss fights, they're fantastic. Straight up, they're amazing. Like Andrew Hoyt, or the guy that makes the boss fight, like give him a blank check. Dude cooks.
Yeah.
He's amazing. The overall core gameplay of BO6 Zombies is fantastic. So I can see them wanting to like do more of that in BO7, but I'm worried that there's not going to be enough like risk taking or mechanic innovation to make me like have to learn the game again.
Yeah.
We'll see. I would like to, but we'll see what happens.
Um, I think we just briefly touch on Warzone because I'm not gonna lie, my Chipotle just delivered and I'm absolutely starving.
Oh no, go ahead, do your thing, I don't know. For the record, I don't know like anything about Warzone, so
Yeah,
I'll
I
just let
mean,
you.
I think we're going to run into the same problem of, is the integration just going to ruin the Warzone again for the first month? Like it has every single year so far. Like it just, you pretty much can guarantee when a new game comes out, the Warzone is going to be terrible for the first month. And then season one, it like fixes stuff where it becomes playable, but people have already given up on the game by then. And then this time, season one's going to add the cosmetics. So they're really going to give up on the game. So I don't see it going very well. I don't. I have
Is Warzone 2 bloated now, do you think?
Oh my gosh. And they're bringing the guns over again. MW2, MW3, Black Ops 6. There's going to be 4 games of guns in that. That's more than the OG Warzone had. You know, we gave up after Vanguard. So you think about it, MW2 would have been the 4th year. We are now hitting that territory of more than the original Warzone, which is kind of crazy to think about. So yeah, I think the rumors of it kind of being this dying thing, it seems like it's happening more and more. But I just don't.
I will say, sorry, not to cut you off,
no,
but I was
good.
just going to say, I will say that, again, maybe you disagree, but from my perspective, I'm all right with how disconnected they feel right now. Like in this, you know, when I went to Treyarch, they didn't really talk about Warzone at all.
Yeah.
Again, that's what we've been
asking for
forever.
that.
It's like, we want them to be separated, please. And
begging.
they're slowly but surely getting there.
Yeah.
I can't speak for how Warzone's being developed or like that community at all, but all I can say is that I'm glad that we're getting some kind of like, we're getting some separation now.
Yes. I think they just need to come out and actually say that though. But I don't think they will, because again, the cross progression shows you that they're implementing this year.
There's still some connective tissue.
There's still some connective stuff, but you know, if it just came down to rank, that would make more sense. I don't know. Even the way like Blackout was done in BO4, it felt like it's its own thing, but that's because the guns didn't matter in that game. You had to pick them up, get attachments, blah 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 blah. The maps that were in the Blackout map really weren't in the multiplayer maps, really. You know, that's another thing. And that just feels like with the Warzone, it's like, I don't know. We're still playing the same map from 5 years ago, which is crazy to think as well. But yeah, I don't really know where I was going with that. Besides, I just think it's definitely time to not take it out back and shoot it, because I still enjoy playing Warzone from time to time. It's just like,
cut the umbilical cord from COD.
Yes. So yeah, I think that's my kind of final say on that, and I've said it 50 times, so I don't know when they'll actually listen.
It seems like we're getting there, though. It's progress, at least.
Yeah.
Like, I don't feel like I was overloaded with Warzone information in this, like, a Treyarch thing, so I'm like, that's already a W. It's like they focused on the actual game, which I'm happy about. So, like, overall, I do expect BO7 to... It'll face a lot of pushback, especially because Battlefield's coming out this year.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's going to be one of those games that, again, check back in 4 to 5 years, but people are going to look back, you know, BO7 wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
But that being said, I do think that, see, this is not to get off on another discussion, but I really wish that they would have been like, all right, lads, you know, this is the last Black Ops. We're going off on we're going to end this in a really satisfying way. We're doing something really special for this one.
Yeah.
This is this is the final Black Ops game, and we're doing crazy stuff for the finale. I'd be like, all right, I'm here, you know?
Yeah.
Sign me up. But do you think that they're going to do another Black Ops title after 7?
That would be insanity if they did that.
I think it's been time to wrap it up for a while. I want this Black Ops game to be great. I'm excited for it. I just think that we need to put it to rest after this.
Yep.
Let's do something new.
I think now it's doing the opposite effect. I think back in like Cold War, like Black Ops still had this weight behind it.
Yeah,
now we've
even in
hit
Black Ops 6.
Yeah. Well, that was just because there was so much hype for Treyarch to come back and drop a banger, and that did not work. So, and that's the negative of doing 2 in a row, is like, okay, if they drop a dud, then people are like, oh, well, I don't want to see you again.
Will write it off because it's like, oh, y'all just made.
But
you literally made a game I didn't like.
If BO6 would have been good, I think people would have been like, all right, we got another good title again. This is gonna be great.
For the record, I think BO6 is pretty good.
Yeah.
All things considered. I maybe you disagree. I don't think it's a bad game.
I think you have a different perspective because I think Zombies was good.
100%. 100%.
Like I think
will concede that.
multiplayer, it just fell off a cliff for me. Once I got acclimated with the maps and I kind of really processed like these are way too small, the movement's way too quick. There's zero content like there was in MW3. It's like once people got the camos, it was over. Like it was over.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I think that's the biggest problem with that game. It's got a good base though, and I think that's what the positive of BO7 is going to work with is like BO6 at its like core. It felt good, like the Omni movement. Like I think that was a great addition.
I told you, Omni movement's here to stay. It's great.
Yeah, I think it's like the next iteration.
The thing they needed to do was take out tack sprint because I told them I'm like taking. Also, from what I heard, the removal of tack sprint was an accident. Like the slipstream thing that became a perk, I think that was an accident when they were like working on something and they're like, oh wait, this just kind of works.
Yeah, it makes it way better. Guns up. Remember that?
Yeah. The Vonderhaar thing. Guns up. I was telling them that like tack sprint doesn't work with Omni movement. They're contradictory. Tack sprint is a very forward moving motion where Omni movement is about the whole, range. Like it just doesn't, they don't go together. Like, so it's oil and water. I think getting rid of tack sprint, but making it an optional an optional choice if you want it is a great idea. Like that was perfect. So good core. We'll see if they can maintain it.
Yep. Well, I'm gonna call it there because, ladies and gentlemen, Chipotle is delivered. Yes,
Chipotle's calling.
I had a coupon as well. Call of Duty's back. Uber. I had an Uber Eats coupon, so this one was free. I mean, that's gonna make it feel even better.
Attaboy, man.
So yeah, guys, we appreciate you watching. Let us know your feedback on Black Ops 7. Actually, make sure you watch both of our videos on our own personal channels as well. We both did kind of reviews on the game and what we saw and all that jazz. So follow us on social media. Make sure you leave a 5-star on Spotify and Apple. I haven't checked our ratings yet or in a while, so I'll have to report back. But this is our first podcast in like
either way.
This was like our first podcast in
a bit.
20, 30 days. So
it's been an unusually busy summer.
That's what you as well. People have been telling me that when I'm live. They're like, when's the next pod? I'm like, Chop's busy. I'm busy. There's zero news. Like, what do you want us to talk about?
But now we're back.
Well, Call of Duty's back.
My schedule's really going to calm down in the next like month or so. So like all the way through the fall and winter, like I'll be here. So we'll be more consistent. And then we'll definitely bring on a guest for the next one. I just wanted to have a one-on-one chat so we could talk about like BO7 just kind of as is. But then I wanted to bring on a zombies guest for the next episode to talk about the ending of Zombies. So maybe we'll do that very soon. But yeah, y'all can let us know if you have any guests that you want to see on the pod. But listen, I appreciate you guys watching very much. Thank you so much.
Yes. As always, guys, thank you for watching. Leave a like on this YouTube video if you're watching on that. And I think that concludes episode 30 something. I already forgot what it was.
38.
38. Hey, we're closing in on 40, baby.
Yeah, we are.
Maybe we'll get 40 by the end of I was gonna say by the end of August, but maybe not. Maybe the start of September.
Yeah, September, episode 40 for sure.
Okay, beautiful. All right, y'all. We will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Peace.